Hi, I'm Gibaud, and today I'm going to speak about this lens by Viltrox, the 14mm f4 full frame. One thing important, you will see some pictures that look really similar to the 9mm 2.8 I've got in another video. I'll give you the link here, and there's a reason for that. We went out with Ingrid Rodriguez here on Instagram, and she made the picture with the 9mm on APS-C because 9mm is APS-C and this one is full frame for Nikon Z and for Sony E. So this is why you will see similar pictures on this review. I've got more pictures I made with my daughter, but this is why there are so similarities. Sorry. So let's speak about this lens. Let's start. So let's speak about the lens. Well, what I love about this line of lenses by Viltrox, the airline, is airline, not a plane, airline. Oh, okay. I think the quality is great. Yes, the body is plastic, but obviously the glass is glass, and the mount is obviously metal. Here you will find also a USB-C connector to upgrade the firmware. It includes the sun hood. The diameter for the filter is 58mm, that is a standard. There's no aperture ring, you will manage from the body. And it goes from f4 to f16, and here you have a really nice focusing ring in case you do want to manually focus, but otherwise it is autofocus. The autofocus is really precise, fast, and silent. Yes, there are some better autofocus, but this one is honestly really okay. I think it works fine. If we look at the quality, it's nice as always. Yeah, it's well built. I love this series, and the price it has is so fantastic that you feel that they're not stealing you. It's great, no doubt. So we speak about 14mm f4. It's ultra wide angle. It goes up. The angle it covers is 112 degrees. This is why I said it's really similar to the lens I have, the 9mm, that is 113 degrees. So this is great. The weight is 170 grams, depending on the mount. The Sony E mount is FE mount is 170 gram, and the Nikon is 185. Sorry. Why this difference? Because the Nikon distance between the lens and the sensor is a bit different, so it's a bit longer, so that makes it a bit heavier, 15 grams, okay? But really, it's really light, I think. If we look at the features are like, first, it's really hard to test the really wide angle. Why? Because if you want to do it on a chart, the distance, you're so close that it's hard to see the quality. So in case of really wide angle, I prefer to do real situation pictures and look at my pictures and decide and see and where I think it's good, bad, or there. So I think it's more logical. That's why there's no chart in this video, okay? But one thing I really like, the minimum focusing distance is only 13 centimeters, which is great because you can really get really close to your subject to give a really strange aspect. But beware, many people think that ultra wide angle, they don't have sharp depth of field. They feel like everything is in focus, and this is not the way it works. If you're really close to your subject, you open the aperture at maximum, you will get some defocus, obviously. So like this stone, I'm so close that the sharp part is just in the center, and the rest is like, yeah, it's out of focus. But maybe not as out of focus as much bokeh as you would have with a longer lens. So many people think that the borders are not sharp. Yes, the borders are sharp. It's just a matter of shallow depth of field in this situation. If I make the same picture on a wall, it will be focused from border to border. It will be sharp from border to border. And actually, if you look at this cut tree, you see it's really sharp. But if you move a bit sideways like this, there is some depth of field that appears, and out of focus, you feel it's not sharp. It is. Check the center. Where it's not is because it's a different distance. So that makes that type of lens sometimes difficult to use for some people, okay? Because they don't realize that when you feel it's not a sharp lens, it is. It is the depth of field that is not properly selected. Maybe you should be on f8 or something like this because you're really close to the subject. If you look at what's inside, 12 elements with ED elements, HR element and aspherical element, and this explains a lot about the result, the good result you get. Maybe you're asking yourself, how could I help Eric? Well, easy. There's a join button just below and you become a member. It costs €1.99 a month. I think it's really affordable. You will not get fancy gifts like plane tickets or whatever. You will get a star. Yeah, well, a star. A star next to your name. So I know you're a member and I answer your question with priority. So thank you so much. And if you wanted to buy Luminar Neo or Aperture by Skylum, get a 10% discount with my code ERIC10. 10% on top of any offer they have. You still place your code, it's even cheaper for you. So that's great. And with ERIC20 you get 20% discount on Ken-Faith website, where you will find all the accessories by K&F Concept and more brands. You will find filters, tripod, bags, all this. 20% discount. That helps you, that helps me, so I thank you. Let's carry on with more information about this lens. I was really surprised by the low distortion. There is a bit, but slight. Actually, I'm going to explain a bit more because wide angle, ultra wide angle lenses are difficult to use and many people confuse distortion with other thing, as I said before, sharpness with depth of field, so it's important. When you see something, a square for example, if it's pin cushion or if it is barrel, yes, this is distortion. Or you have the ocean that is in a third, the horizon in a third and it's bent. Obviously, this is distortion. But many people confuse with buildings, like make a building, it looks like this. No, this is perspective. That would happen with any lens, whether good or bad, it would be like this. And if you have a shift lens, then you can correct and move the lens and you would have the building that will be straight. But with a lens that wide angle, you will always get this effect. And many people feel or call it distortion, and it is not distortion, okay? So that's really different. So distortion here is not really too much. If we look at chromatic aberration, there is a bit, but you need to be against light with small details and you will notice it. Otherwise, most pictures you will never see this chromatic aberration. And anyway, all what I'm telling you right now, there's nothing that cannot be corrected in post-production, so no problem. If we look at the flare, yes, you can get some flare, the red flare by Viltrox, that is world famous. You get it, but it's really hard to get it. The first lenses Viltrox was making, flare was getting like this. But they've been correcting so much that now you really need to be on an angle and search for the flare to get it. I did get it on this picture. You can see a bit of this red circle, part of a circle at the bottom, but really you need to go for it. So if you are not a fan of flare, you won't have any problem with this. If you're a fan of flare, well, you have to orient it properly the lens to make sure some flare appears. So it's really well controlled. If we look at sun stars, yeah, you do get some sun stars around f16, f14, you start to get them, f11 a bit, but really f16 you do get them. They are not beautiful sun stars, like perfect sun stars, but there are sun stars. Okay, so it depends what you're looking for. I'm not a fan of sun stars, so I cannot tell you much more about it. One thing I didn't tell enough in the 9mm review is about sharpness. I'm really surprised how sharp this lens is. Obviously not at maximum aperture, but in the center, yes, already. But when you close down a bit, yeah, that gets great. It's really good. But beware again, as I explained before, when you have an ultra wide angle, you see everything on your picture like flat, but you have to realize that some elements are really far and other elements are really close to you and they all fit in your picture. And it is so easy to think that the corners are not sharp. It's actually because these corners are next to your feet and your subject is 3 meters away. And yes, there's a difference in sharpness, but not due to a lens problem, due to the way the picture is set. That's the difference, okay? Then if we look at, so the sharpness is honestly really good. And if you check some of the pictures, you will see that the details in the trunk, especially when you have some texture, you do see how important the quality is there. Okay, that's really good. So who is this lens for? Well, I would say for landscape, for architecture, for traveling, and also for vlogging. Some people want to vlog, to self-record and see some things around, so that would be fine. But I must stress, I want to stress the point on one thing. Using ultra wide angle is difficult. It's really interesting. It's difficult because some people think you take the picture and that's it. The more you will get into your picture, the harder it is to compose. And it's so easy to have like a street photography and you see that there's something really close to you and that appears really big. So you have to think where this element should go to be noise. Otherwise, it's strange. And you have your subject that is in the center that appears really small because that person is far away or this element is far away. So it's hard to use. Or if you do street photography, well, it gets so wide that it's likely you will get this rubbish bin. You didn't want to have this trash there and you get it. And or that person that is there that you think is not in the picture, it is in the frame. And sometimes you cannot tell that person to go away. And if you do architecture, same thing. The way you're going to think about the way to create, to place elements, so the perspective is nice to watch. So you have to think a lot when you use an ultra wide angle. But still, I think everyone should have a wide angle lens. Why? Because first, in some situation that saves you. You're traveling, there's a really tall building, you want to make a picture, it fits, that's great, that's nice. Also because it is a really creative lens, you can have a lot of fun. Because yeah, the way it's so wide angle that some elements that are close will be really big. If you want to do some portrait and have a foot on the front of the picture, it will look really big, and just far away a small head of the person. Or this picture I've made to Ingrid that is on top of the trunk and it looks like this and it's strange. So I think you can have a lot of fun. And obviously having an ultra wide angle lens just for fun or from time to time, it's a lot of money that is locked in your bag and maybe you don't use. And this is when that kind of lens comes in, where Viltrox comes in, because the price is stunning. This is a great price. So whether you don't want to spend too much because this is not a lens you're going to use on a daily basis, or you're a person that are on a tight budget, you have a camera that may be a bit old or whatever, this is on A7 II for example, and you don't want to spend too much money, you don't have too much money or whatever reason, this is great. And I think the quality for the price it has is stunning. Yeah, some people say, yeah, but as it is cheap, you forgive everything. That's not the way it is. Obviously, if a lens is really expensive, I ask the top quality. I cannot ask the same for a lens that costs a quarter or tenth of ultra wide angle lenses. Okay, that's logical. But still, I think the quality is really good, not just because of the price, the quality is really good. So this is a great idea to have a lens like this in your bag. Some people will say, yeah, but it's f4, it's not really luminous. I prefer 2.8. Honestly, if you're going to do some architecture picture, you're so likely to use a tripod. So if you're indoor, that's no problem. If you're outdoor, you're likely to be in daytime, no problem. I think it is a wise decision to have f4 instead of 2.8. 2.8, the lens would be really massive, a lot heavier, more expensive, and would have so much more to correct. It would be a lot harder to have almost no vignetting, because this lens has almost no vignetting, which is really surprising. At f4, at f8 you have nothing. So take into account all that. So I forgot to tell before about the vignetting. So honestly, I think this lens is completely recommendable. And if you don't want to spend too much, this is the lens to go for. So if you are interested, I'll leave you links in the description where you can buy it. So thank you so much, Ingrid, for helping me with the 9mm and come with me for the 14mm so I could have some making of. you've seen. Thank you obviously to Viltrox for sending me the lens, and thank you so much to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, the small button down here and the small bell. If you click on the bell, you will get notified when I upload a new video. My website Gibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also, I'll remind you I've activated the member area of my YouTube channel. You don't get fancy gift, you get a star next to your name, so I know you're a member and I answer your question and comments with priority. Thank you so much, that really helps me. Also, leave your affiliated links in the description, please use them. And if you wanted to buy Luminar Neo or Aperture by Skylum, you get a 10% discount with my code ERIC10. 10% on top of any offer they have. You still place your code, it's even cheaper for you. And if you use ERIC20 on K&F website, where you will find all the accessories by K&F Concept and more brands. You'll find filters, tripod, bags, all this. You get a 20% discount with ERIC20. So use it, you save some money, that helps me, so that's great. Thank you so much. Also, leave you my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much, please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye!
Oh,